Hello there, I'm Azaria Tagaya, and this is Nightline, the top stories. No decisions on Fixed Term Parliament Act yet, says Prime Minister. And government to allow transfer of foreign workers from one sector to another. Good morning. The proposal to introduce a Fixed-Term Parliament Act is not a priority for the government at the moment. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim said the proposal, which was suggested by Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi, has not yet been discussed among leaders in the unity government.
But it's a bit too premature for us to decide. Otherwise, we have not even obtained any comments from the Attorney General. There's no consensus yet among the leaders of Kerajaan Perpaduan Madani. So I think we'll go through the process. But there has been a suggestion. We will look at it. To me, it's not a priority.
Last week, Deputy Prime Minister Ahmad Zahid proposed a Fixed-Term Parliament Act so that the formation of a government lasts until the end of the term or before the next general election is held. Anwar, however, noted that the matter will be looked into. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister said the opposition's psychological warfare of having the numbers to topple the government showed that the political coalition is desperate to come into power, despite not even having 1/3 of the seats in Parliament.
Saya tidak pernah fikir itu perkara yang serius. Ini hanya war-war, pembangkang yang agak desperate dan seperti mana disebut langkah Dubai, saya tak komen tu. Bagi saya tak, kalau ada asas yang kukuh maka kita terpaksa perhati. Ini tak ada asas.
Meanwhile, Datuk Seri Anwar was asked to comment on a recent statement made by Tun Dr. Mahad, who had questioned the loyalty of the Malaysian Indian community to the country. Anwar described the remarks as not only irrelevant but also irresponsible for a political figure who had been a long-serving Prime Minister.
Itu kenyataan yang tidak bertanggungjawab sebagai seorang mantan Perdana Menteri yang sekian lama. Kemudian menghina mana-mana kaum, mana-mana sama ada majoriti atau minoriti. Dia memang terkenal. Melayu bagi dia malas, melainkan dia India dan China itu dianggap kurang loyal, melainkan beberapa kroni dia. Saya ingat kenyataan itu kita bantah keras, sangat tidak bertanggungjawab. Bagi saya, semua rakyat yang loyal kita harus hormati. Tak kira siapa mana-mana kaum.
Dr. Mahathir, in an interview with an Indian language TV channel, Tanti TV, recently alleged that the Indian and Chinese communities in Malaysia are not completely loyal to the country, as they still want to identify themselves with their respective countries of origin. On another matter, the government is serious about the country's digital transformation and wants to ensure that the general public is fully aware of its initiatives to promote digital literacy and artificial intelligence, or AI. Datuk Seri Anwar said the digital economy is slated to further boost its impact and is projected to create up to 500,000 new job opportunities by 2050. The Prime Minister said this after launching the AI Untuk Rakyat program at Universiti Putra Malaysia UPM in Serdang, Selangor on Tuesday. It is an online self-learning program designed to enhance the general public's understanding and awareness of AI.
Saya ingin tekankan untuk perkhidmatan awam, KPPE ada di sini, untuk KPT dan Kementerian Pendidikan, jangan tunggu bulan Februari. Dalam tempoh beberapa hari, mesti ada usaha perkenalkan apps ini di kalangan semua pelajar supaya kita buktikan unjuran Rafizi salah. Rafizi kata dalam 3 tahun 1 juta. Saya nak unjuran yang tepat. Kalau kita ambil semua pelajar, pendidikan tinggi, penjawat awam dan sekolah, unjuran kita 1 juta belum tamat 1 tahun.
The Prime Minister also called on university vice-chancellors to ensure that all students at the respective institutions attend the 4-hour program on the basic understanding of AI via the website. Anwar also wants all Directors General of government agencies to submit their reports on AI literacy to their respective ministries within a month. It was reported that Malaysia's digital sector is making a significant contribution of 23.2% to the nation's gross domestic product (GDP), while the digital economy is slated to further boost its impact and is projected to contribute 25.5% to the country's economy by 2025. The government will allow for employers to opt to transfer quotas to other employees in sectors facing shortages of foreign workers. Home Minister Datuk Sri Saifuddin Nasution Ismail said this was because some sectors were facing a deficit of foreign workers.
Majikan dah buat masuk. Kemudian dia tak boleh adakan pekerjaan. Option penghantaran pulang tak boleh. The moment kita hantar, then dia dah masuk kategori forced labour dan segala macam. Itu akan memberikan kesan pada rating kita.
In a joint media conference with Human Resources Minister Stephen Sim, Saifuddin said the transfer quota will also include the plantation and agriculture sectors. He added that he had met with Plantation and Commodities Minister Datuk Sri Johari Abdul Ghani to have a clearer view on the matter. The government will also review its agreements with 15 source countries on the recruitment of foreign workers to ensure better distribution of manpower in certain sectors.
Ini dia orang tu Okey.
Kenapakah kau diciptakan menjadi manusia? Bukankah lebih baik kalau kau dilahirkan menjadi haiwan?
Akibat teruk didera, buah pinggang kanak-kanak Malang itu disahkan rosak teruk.
Nak kata bau bangkai pun lebih teruk daripada bau bangkai lagi lah. Sebab mayat dalam proses merepuk.
Police have referred the investigation papers related to the Dubai move aimed at destabilising the leadership of Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim's unity government to the Attorney General's Chambers AGC on Tuesday. Bukit Aman Criminal Investigation Director Datuk Sri Muhammad Shuhaili Muhammad Zain said that police will await further instructions from the AGC for the next course of action. Shuhaili said that there are no individuals that have been summoned for statements apart from the 4 individuals police had called in earlier. As of Monday, the total number of police reports received nationwide regarding the case remains at 145 reports. Police had previously summoned 4 individuals to provide statements to assist in the investigation into the case last Friday after they were found to have used social media as a platform to discuss the matter. Following that, police had opened an investigation paper under the Penal Code and the Communications and Multimedia Act. Meanwhile, Shuhaili said police have wrapped up their probe into the sexual harassment case involving former Community Communications JCOM Department Director General Datuk Muhammad Agus Yusof. He said the investigation papers have been completed and were submitted to the AGC on December 18th last year. On December 14th, Muhammad Agus was summoned to the Kajang District Police Headquarters to provide a statement to assist police investigation into allegations of sexual harassment against him by JCOM staff 33-year-old Abdul Wahab Abdul Qadir Jilani. The investigation was conducted for outraging modesty and for offences after multiple avalanches. News from the foreign front when we return. movement will expand its targets in the Red Sea region to include US ships as it vowed to keep up attacks after US and British strikes on its sites in Yemen. According to a Houthi military spokesman, Yahya Azaria, all US and British ships and warships taking part in the aggression against Yemen would be targets for the group. In the latest apparent attack, the US Central Command said Houthi forces in Yemen struck the US-owned and operated dry bulk ship Gibraltar Eagle with an anti-ship ballistic missile on Monday, although there were no reports of injuries or significant damage. The latest attack has raised fears that the Red Sea waterway could turn into a battleground, posing a threat to the normal operation of the global trade system. Former U.S. President Donald Trump has decisively won the Iowa caucuses, cementing his Republican frontrunner status as he bids to retake the White House in 2024. Trump handily beat the former U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, Nikki Haley, and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis in a widely expected result on Monday. Major U.S. networks took just half an hour to call the race, with Trump taking 51% of the vote, while DeSantis and Haley were locked at 21% and 19% respectively. His commanding victor points to his continuing dominance over the Republican Party and takes him a step closer to securing a third consecutive nomination for the presidency, despite facing mounting legal woes, including 4 criminal indictments. In China, rescuers evacuated tourists from a remote holiday village in Xinjiang, where dozens of avalanches triggered by heavy snow trapped more than 1,000 tourists for a week. According to authorities, those injured have been airlifted on a military helicopter, while supplies such as food and fuel were being flown in. It was also reported that a snow-blocked road linking Himu village to major roads has been cleared, allowing vehicles to enter and tourists to drive themselves out. In the meantime, authorities said the area will be closed until at least January 20th due to the current extreme weather. Earlier this weekend, it was reported that multiple avalanches have blocked roads, stranding more than 1,000 tourists and residents at a village in Altai Prefecture in the Xinjiang region. Pangon apologizes over Harimau Malaya's big loss. sports, football and the AFC Asian Cup, Malaysia's head coach Kim Pan-gon apologised to the local football fans for the 4-0 thrashing by Jordan in their Group E opener on Tuesday. Kim said the national team was expected to pose a strong challenge against Jordan but had failed miserably, marking Harimau Malaya's worst performance since January 2022. However, the South Korean believed that his team will be able to sort out their weaknesses before their next match against Bahrain on January 20th. The national team early on Monday failed to create history as they suffered a 4-0 loss to Jordan. Mahmoud Al-Mardi gave Jordan an early lead in the 12th minute before Musa Al-Tamari doubled their lead from the spot 6 minutes later, following Matthew Davies' foul on Yazan Al-Naimat. Al-Mardi made it 3-0 in the 32nd minute with Yazan again the playmaker. Al-Tamari put the result beyond doubt with his second 5 minutes from time to complete the round. With this result, Malaysia are at the bottom of Group E and must win the remaining games to have a chance to advance to the round of 16. In another match, former champions Iraq began their Group D campaign with a strong start after defeating Indonesia 3-1 on Monday. Muhammad Al-Qadim Al-Shamari opened the scoring in the 17th minute, but Marcelino Ferdinand Philippus equalised in the 37th minute thanks to Yaqub Sayuri's brilliant cross. Iraq regained their lead just before the interval when Osama Jabar Shafiq Rashid scored from close range after Indonesia's keeper spilled a save. Substitute Aiman Hussein Gadban then volleyed home in the 75th minute to seal a convincing 3-1 victory. Iraq are second in Group D behind 4-time champions Japan. On to tennis now. The 2024 Australian Open. After 2 years away from the competition, Carlos Alcaraz made a confident start to his campaign after defeating Richard Gasquet on Tuesday. The second-seeded Alcaraz did not drop a single set, beating Gasquet in straight sets 7-6, 6-1, 6-2. Alcaraz struggled to shake off the former world number 7 Gasquet in an absorbing opening set, but pulled through the tiebreak and then barely looked back as he wrapped a 2-hour, 22-minute triumph. In another match, 8-seeded Holder Rune advanced to the second round after knocking out Yoshihito Nishioka of Japan 6-2, 4-6, 7-6, 6-4. The Dane took 3 hours and 25 minutes to finish off Nishioka and avenge his 2023 defeat in Adelaide to the Japanese left-hander. In the women's singles event, world number 1 Iga Swiatek survived an early test of her title hopes after defeating former champion Sofia Kenin. The Polish closed the first set in the tiebreaker, broke Kenin in the 5th game of the second set and held on to clinch a 7-6, 6-2 victory. Up next, senior cop probed for pushing woman off Pulau Pinang Bridge. Don't go away. On Nightline. Thousands of Malaysians lose their lives on the road each year, and a significant number of these fatalities involve motorcyclists. While there are daredevils or mat rempit among motorcyclists, the reality is that many who lose their lives are not. So why do so many motorcyclists lose their lives on our roads? FMT's Danish Rajareza finds out.
89,953. That's how many motorcyclists have been killed on Malaysian roads in the past 20 years. To put that number into context, think about a packed Bukit Jalil National Stadium, which has a 90,000 seating capacity. According to World Health Organization statistics from 2021, Malaysia ranks third in the world for road danger with 22.48 deaths per 100,000 people. Out of that, 60% are motorcyclists. So how can we make our roads safer for motorcyclists? Analyst Karisma Putra Rahman of Bait Al-Amanah says the lack of legislation on lane splitting and filtering are one of the reasons for the high number of fatalities. Lane splitting refers to the common practice of motorcycles zipping in and out of lanes between vehicles. Filtering is similar to lane splitting, but this happens when traffic is slow-moving or stationary, like at a red light. What's also overlooked is teaching motorcyclists about the dangers of lane splitting.
The whole issue of motorcycles zipping in and out of lanes, right? None of that is addressed in the curriculum. Policy intervention must be done in terms of the education side of things.
Transport consultant Rosli Khan says the solution is as simple as getting motorcycles off highways.
Other countries like Indonesia, Thailand, China, or India don't allow motorcyclists to go on the highways, as it is not safe for them to ride alongside vehicles with 4 or more wheels on the highway, as everyone is operating at high speeds.
Rosli says this should be paired with the expansion of the motorcycle lane system, which currently covers only a handful of roads in the country. Enforcement of penalties must also be consistent so that riders take the law seriously.
There should not be any leeway or lax in enforcement, such as giving discounts to offenders. This approach is in conflict with those who played by the rules and paid their dues.
The staggering number of motorcycle deaths highlight the need to tighten rules and regulation. For now, the fact remains that every one of us has the duty to drive responsibly and make sure our roads are safe for all. Danish Rajareza, FMT News.
The woman who fell into the sea at the Pulau Pinang Bridge on Monday following a confrontation with a man claimed that he had pushed her. Pulau Pinang Police Chief Datuk Kau Kok Chin said based on an initial statement from the 40-year-old woman, she claimed to have been pushed into the sea by her 37-year-old male friend, who is a senior police officer outside the state. Kau said in the 7:45 p.m. incident, the couple had stopped their car on the bridge after a confrontation broke out between them. The woman claimed that during the confrontation, she was forcefully pushed into the sea by the man.
Kita dapati mangsa yang kedua, yang perempuan tu menyatakan dia ditolak oleh lelaki tersebutlah. Kita consider mangsa yang jatuh tu pertama. Jadi setakat ni pihak polis membuka di bawah Seksyen 307 lah, cubaan membunuh. Dan tindak siasatan untuk dapatkan keterangan daripada saksi-saksi yang lain tu kita akan teruskan.
Fortunately, a man believed to be a soldier who was passing by witnessed the incident and jumped into the sea to rescue the two individuals. All of them were rescued by a fishing boat before being taken to the Batu Uban Marine Jetty. The woman escaped unhurt while the man is receiving treatment for head injuries. Police plan to record his statement when his medical condition allows. Based on police investigation, the senior police officer has a criminal case under the Penal Code for assault in the Timor Laut district. In Kedah, 6 men, including a company owner, pleaded guilty to charges relating to tax fraud involving luxury cars in Langkawi, causing millions in losses to the government. The 6 were fined between 5,000 ringgit and 20,000 ringgit each at the Alor Star Sessions Court on Tuesday. Judge Rohatul Akmar Abdullah handed down the sentences after 47-year-old Muhammad Noor Hussein, 35-year-old Muhammad Khairul Subri and 46-year-old Fairul Ismazi Ishaq pleaded guilty to the charges on Monday. Muhammad Noor was fined 20,000 ringgit or a 12-month jail term after pleading guilty to 2 counts of using a forged sworn document counterfeit account letter dated May 6, 2014 and presenting a fake customs form at the department's Langkawi office on May 21, 2014 and June 1st, 2021. The second accused, Muhammad Khairul, was fined 10,000 ringgit or 9 months imprisonment after entering the guilty plea for 2 counts of cheating by using a forged customs declaration form. The third accused, Fairul Ismazi, who committed the same offence on November 22, 2021, was fined 5,000 ringgit or 7 months in prison. Meanwhile, 3 others, namely 55-year-old Yoh Itat, 32-year-old Muhammad Haikal Muhammad Sabri and 51-year-old Teh Wei Lee pleaded guilty to the charges of cheating by using a fake customs declaration form and were fined 10,000 ringgit each. The men were detained in a special operation by the MECC against a syndicate involved in illicitly reducing duties on luxury cars, resulting in a staggering loss of over 33 million ringgit in taxes for the government.
5 people, including a couple, were charged with cheating at the Port Dickson Magistrates Court by running a non-existent online loan scheme. All 5 pleaded not guilty after the charge was read to them before Magistrate Uthman Abdul Ghani.
23-year-old Li Jia Ray, 25-year-old Jason Li Lian Sheng, 19-year-old Jas Li Ying Jing, 21-year-old Amiratul Najihah Abdul Malik and 29-year-old Kamarul Nazrin Kamarul Zaman were jointly charged with cheating a 35-year-old man to bank in 3,897 ringgit into an account to be eligible for a loan. The offence was allegedly committed on November 11th last year. The suspects were charged under Section 420 of the Penal Code for cheating, read together with Section 34 of the same legislation, which provides a jail term of between 1 and 10 years, whipping and a fine. The court fixed bail at 3,500 ringgit with 1 shorty for each suspect and fixed February 20th for next mention. It is understood that the 5 were detained by the police on December 20th last year in Sindayan, where several items used to run their operations were also seized.
As we wrap up Nightline this time around, let's take a look as the Red Falcon Air Demonstration Team of the Chinese People's Liberation Army Air Force starts its adaptive flight training in Laos for an upcoming stunt performance. With that, I'm Azaria Tagaya. Thank you for watching and we'll see you next time.